Hello and welcome back to People Skills Pro. Let's talk about confidence. For many men, confidence is a fragile, fleeting thing. It's like a fair-weather friend. When things are going well, when you get the promotion, when the date goes perfectly, when you're having a great hair day, it's easy to feel confident. But what happens when things go wrong? What happens when you face rejection, when you make a mistake, when life doesn't go according to plan? For most people, that fragile confidence shatters into a million pieces, replaced by anxiety, self-doubt, and fear. What if there was a different way? What if you could build a kind of confidence that wasn't dependent on success? A kind of confidence that was not just resilient, but actively strengthened by contemplating failure. Today, we are going to talk about a powerful psychological hack for building this kind of unshakable confidence. I call it a stolen hack, because it's a technique that has been borrowed from one of the most resilient and mentally tough groups of people in human history, the ancient Stoic philosophers. This is not a modern self-help trick. This is a 2,000-year-old mental technology that is so counterintuitive, so contrary to our modern obsession with positive thinking, that most people will never discover it. We are going to do a deep dive into this powerful practice. We will explore the psychology of why it works so effectively, and I will give you a practical, step-by-step guide to start using it tonight to build a foundation of confidence so solid that nothing can break it. The core principle: fragile versus anti-fragile confidence. To understand this hack, we must first understand the difference between three types of confidence. Fragile confidence. This is what most people have. It depends on external validation and positive outcomes. It shatters under stress and pressure. Resilient confidence. This is stronger. It can take a hit and bounce back to its original state. It endures hardship. Anti-fragile confidence. This is the highest level. Coined by the author Nassim Nicholas Taleb, something that is anti-fragile does not just resist shocks, it benefits from them. It gets stronger when exposed to volatility, randomness, and stress. The psychological hack we are about to discuss is a tool for building anti-fragile confidence. It is a method for training your mind to not just survive failure, but to become more powerful because of it. The stolen hack. The art of negative visualization. The hack is a practice called negative visualization, or, in Latin, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. The modern world tells you to think positive, visualize success, create a vision board of all the things you want. The Stoics taught the exact opposite. They argued that the greatest source of human suffering is not bad events themselves, but our surprise and lack of preparation for them. Our anxiety comes from clinging desperately to our attachments and living in constant fear of losing them. Negative visualization is the practice of periodically and intentionally contemplating the loss of the things you value most. You imagine, in vivid detail, what it would be like if you lost your job, if your relationship ended, if you lost your possessions, or if you faced a major health crisis. I know this sounds insane. It sounds morbid and pessimistic. But when practiced correctly, it has three profound and paradoxical effects that build unshakable confidence. The psychology. Why contemplating loss makes you stronger. 1. It kills fear through desensitization. Fear gets its power from the unknown. The fear of getting fired is often worse than the reality of it. You imagine a vague, catastrophic future. By intentionally walking through the worst-case scenario in your mind, you rob it of its power. You ask yourself, okay, what would actually happen if I lost my job? I would have to update my resume. I would call my contacts. I would cut my expenses. It would be incredibly difficult, but I would survive. I would figure it out. By facing the dragon in your imagination, you realize it's not the all-powerful monster you thought it was. You desensitize yourself to the fear. You build a mental roadmap for dealing with adversity, which makes you far less anxious about the future. 2. It creates profound gratitude for the present. The second paradoxical effect is that after you spend 5 minutes vividly imagining that you've lost everything you care about, and then you return to your present reality, the feeling is not one of sadness, but of overwhelming gratitude. Suddenly, your boring job feels like a precious gift of stability. Your partner's annoying little habits become endearing quirks you're grateful to have. Your simple apartment feels like a palace. By contemplating the absence of these things, you appreciate their presence on a level you never could before. This gratitude creates a deep sense of happiness and fulfillment that is not dependent on getting more, but on appreciating what you have. 3. It builds an internal locus of control. The Stoics taught that the key to a good life is understanding the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control if someone likes you. You cannot control if you get sick. You can control your character, your mindset, and your actions. Negative visualization constantly reminds you that everything external is temporary and can be taken away. This forces you to stop placing your self-worth in external things, your job, your car, your relationship status, and start placing it in the only thing that can never be taken from you, your own character. The man who does this is the man whose confidence is truly unbreakable, because it's not tied to anything the world can touch. How to practice the 5-minute negative visualization. This is a mental exercise. You can do it in the morning, during a commute, or as a journaling practice. Step 1. Choose your loss. 1 minute. Pick one thing you value that you have a subtle fear of losing. It could be your job, your relationship, your health, your reputation, or a key possession. Don't start with the most terrifying thing. Start with something manageable. Step 2. Vividly imagine it's gone. 2 minutes. Close your eyes and truly immerse yourself in the reality of the loss. Don't just think about it. Feel it. If it's your job, imagine your boss calling you into the office. Feel the knot in your stomach. Hear the words, "We have to let you go." Imagine packing up your desk, walking out of the building for the last time, and having to call your partner to tell them the news. If it's your relationship, imagine the conversation, the difficult words, the feeling of her leaving, the silence in your apartment afterwards. Step 3. Contemplate your recovery. 1 minute. Now ask yourself, what would I do next? Walk through the first few practical steps of your recovery plan. Losing your job. Okay, first I would take a day to feel bad. Then I would call my friend who's a recruiter. I'd update my LinkedIn profile. I'd create a budget. Losing your relationship. I would lean on my friends. I would throw myself into my fitness goals. I would focus on my purpose. You prove to yourself that even though it would be painful, you would not be destroyed. You would endure. You would adapt. Step 4. Return to the present with gratitude. 1 minute. Now open your eyes. Look around you. Realize that the loss has not happened. Your job is still there. Your partner is still in your life. Your health is still intact. Feel the wave of relief and gratitude wash over you. Take a moment to truly appreciate the things you just imagined losing. So there it is, the ancient stolen hack for building unshakable, anti-fragile confidence. It is the counterintuitive art of negative visualization. Stop trying to build your confidence on a fragile foundation of positive thinking and external success. Start building it on a bedrock of internal resilience. Learn to face your fears in your imagination so you can be fearless in reality. Learn to appreciate what you have by contemplating its absence, and learn to place your worth not in the temporary things the world can give you, but in the unshakable character you build for yourself. The man who practices this is not a pessimist. He is the ultimate optimist, a man so confident in his ability to handle whatever life throws at him that he is not afraid to look into the abyss. He is the man who walks through the world with a quiet power, a deep sense of gratitude, and a confidence that cannot be broken. If you found this guide helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to People Skills Pro. Let us know in the comments if you're brave enough to try this powerful practice. Thank you for listening.